Welcome to Trivia Viral. Our channel covers all the latest analysis and recaps on TV shows and movies, as well as interesting stories and facts that you may not have known. So sit back, relax, and subscribe to our channel if you have been enjoying our videos so far. Eight of the top-ranked gamers are invited to play a new virtual reality game. The game will be played with a $100,000 prize. Some of the usernames that we see are Sox1, Mustang67, The Chief, Straight Shooter, Atlas, Terror, Reaper, and Slayer Girl. After arriving at the airport and changing into motion capture suits, they are scanned by a machine and then told to put on some virtual reality gear. Terror, a Bosnian Muslim who chose his username ironically, refuses to wear any clothing that labels him as a criminal. He also discovers that the exit had been locked. Mustang67 convinces him that he should play and says they understand that he meant to choose his tag name ironically. One day, after everyone puts on their helmets, a computer simulation replaces the high-tech office building that they are in. It becomes a post-apocalyptic, war-torn environment. In this scene, a simulated sergeant enters the room and explains the goal. Russian insurgents have taken over every floor of the building. Because of this, they must clear the path from the 25th floor to the bottom of the building. Even though he is relieved that the insurgents are not Muslim, Terror regrets accepting the invitation. However, the other people are excited. They were able to clear the first level easily because it was a tutorial. Straight Shooter, who is an ex-soldier in real life, takes the lead. However, the players soon feel suspicious and alarmed once Sox1 is wounded. He says the feedback from the VR suit caused him to experience actual pain. So the Slayer Girl becomes increasingly panicked and confesses that she took her friend's place. The Mustang promises to protect her. As for the Straight Shooter, Atlas is suspicious of his military background, so they accuse him of being involved in designing the game. Straight Shooter is very upset and leaves the group. There, he is fired at by an opponent that has respawned. The other players find his body and realize that their VR helmets have been programmed to deliver a lethal shock upon their characters passing. Terror asks Sox1 to smash his helmet, because he is incapable of removing it himself. Before they are able to get the helmet off, they are interrupted. When the sergeant enters the room, he goes and attacks Terror. They also warn people against future tampering, so the players are forced to descend to the next level. Later on, Sox1 and Terror attempt to break a window, so the sergeant appears again. This time they break the Terror's leg. They warn that if one of them violates any of the army's regulations, they will be taken out immediately. Terror understands that the other players cannot help him all the way to the end of the game, so he decides to stay behind while the others continue. After they clear several levels together, Slayer Girl gets separated from the other players. She hides in the bathroom. When she is forced to defend herself, she ends a fight with an opponent through solo combat. She becomes more confident about her skills. On the 9th floor, the sergeant reveals that there is a captive opponent and tells the players to torture him to find out what information he has. The gamer behind the chief volunteers to do that. After some jolts of electricity are administered by the chief, the captive gives up a password. When the Reaper enters the password into the computer console, it triggers explosives in the basement. Then it starts a countdown of 30 minutes. Atlas gets aggressive toward the Reaper. He blames the Reaper for making their situation worse. Atlas and Reaper descend further, while Mustang, Sox1, the Chief, and Slayer Girl continue clearing the upper levels. Atlas uses Reaper to bait their opponents. Because of this, Reaper is left to his doom after getting injured. When the rest of the players arrive at Atlas's location, Atlas takes out the Slayer Girl in order that he can get her medical kit. Later, Sox1 sees the word Atlas written in red by the Slayer Girl, so he attacks Atlas and damages his helmet. Because of this, the sergeant walks into the room and takes out Atlas permanently. Sox1, Mustang, and the Chief descend to the basement floor. After they have defeated 4 opponents, they face a final boss in this game simulation. The final boss is armed with a bipod-mounted machine gun. It hits both Sox1 and Mustang. Sox1 sacrifices himself in order to save the Mustang. He uses the last of his medical kit to heal Mustang. She holds his hand and watches as his helmet falls apart. When that happens, the Chief takes out the machine gunner with his rocket launcher. He manages to halt the countdown to a stop just before the explosives blow. Mustang watches the commander recite the sergeant's speech for the victory and realizes that he knows it from the heart. Mustang deduces that the Chief must be the insider in their group. The graphics are lifted up and the security guards enter the room. They tranquilize the Mustang. She wakes up earlier than she was supposed to. She sees that her fellow group mates are being put into body bags. Meanwhile, the Chief tells her that she's won. He also gives her a large bag filled with money. When Mustang threatens to reveal that the Chief is involved in the demise of the other players, he says that nobody will believe her. Eventually, Mustang is able to tranquilize the guard and grab his pistol. As a result, She ends the guards in a firefight. At the brink of passing, the chief pleads with her for his mercy and offers her more money. However, Mustang insists that this experiment must never again happen. She fires at him. Later she leaves without any money. What are your thoughts about the story? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe if you would like to see more similar videos, and give us a thumbs up to get more recommendations of our videos. Be the first to watch the latest videos by clicking the bell icon. See you on the next video.